Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling something that could really change how you gather information, how you learn. We're diving into some source material about, well, advanced AI search tools. Specifically, how to stop using them like a fancy Google search and start treating them more like your own personal PhD-level research analyst.
That's exactly it. It's a big shift, right? Moving away from just asking simple questions like, tell me about electric cars.
Mm-hmm.
Our sources lay out these really solid templates. Think of them as frameworks. They basically force generative AI, something like Perplexity, to give you synthesized, cited, structured insights. The win for you. Getting deep practical knowledge super fast. We're talking minutes, not weeks of digging. It's about understanding how to engineer these requests properly.
Okay, engineering requests. Let's break that down. It's not about just asking nicely, is it? It sounds like it's more about setting strict rules, mandatory constraints. The sources talk about 4 key elements that have to be in a good research prompt.
Absolutely non-negotiable if you want quality output. Before we even look at the specific prompt examples, these mechanics are, well, they're fundamental.
Okay, pillar number 1, defining your context or role. You need to tell the AI who you are in this scenario, like act as a venture capital analyst, or I'm launching a new kind of coffee shop. It sets the perspective, the filter for the analysis.
Then second, the task and goal. This needs to be really specific. Not just analyze the market, but generate a 5-year projection for the European semiconductor market. Or compare these 3 software products based on user reviews. Hyper specific.
And third, this one seems really crucial, demanding a very structured required output format. You have to spell it out. Give me a 2-page executive summary and a SWOT table, or maybe output this as a JSON object I can use. That stops it from just giving you a wall of text.
Exactly. It prevents that generalized waffle. And finally, number 4, constraints and sources. You set the boundaries. Only look at companies founded after 2020, or, critically, all data points must cite sources like Bloomberg, government reports, or academic journals. You basically build this cage for the AI, and it forces it to deliver high-value analysis within those walls.
Okay, rules of engagement clear. So let's jump into the high-stakes stuff first. Strategic business and market intelligence. For anyone launching something, competing hard, advising leaders, this stuff is gold.
Right, and we should probably start with the foundation, the market analysis prompt. This is like step 0 for any serious business move.
Okay, so this one forces the AI to do a quick but thorough scan. Market size, who the big players are, what's driving growth, where things are headed. Let's take an example of the U.S. e-commerce industry. Running this prompt, what does it give you? The source says it pulls data, like from eMarketer, projecting, wow, $1.2 trillion by 2030. And it doesn't just give the number, it points to why, like the huge surge in mobile shopping.
Yeah, and that's the value, isn't it? You don't just get a statistic, you get the context, the driver behind it. Instantly, you have a starting point for your strategy or maybe your investment thesis.
Okay, which leads perfectly into the next one. The startup feasibility prompt. This sounds like it's for the entrepreneur who needs more than just a thumbs up on an idea. They need a blueprint. You feed it the problem you're solving, your unique solution.
But the key, again, is the structure you demand back. You're not just asking, is this a good idea? You're saying, give me a bullet point executive summary, a SWOT analysis table, maybe revenue charts for the next 3 years. You dictate the format.
Right. Let's use that zero-waste meal kit example from the sources. The output doesn't just say, yeah, people like meal kits. It pulls market-sized data, maybe citing Statista, saying the global market could hit $15 billion. But more usefully, that mandatory SWOT analysis forces it to flag the weaknesses up front. Things like, complex logistics or relying on specific suppliers, risks you need to tackle before you even think about pitching.
Okay, but let's pause here. You mentioned citations. How reliable are these AI-pulled citations? We all know about AI hallucinations. Is there something we need to build into the prompt itself to counteract that risk?
That's a really important point. The sources stress adding a specific constraint. Something like verify the existence of all cited reports or journals.
Yeah.
It makes the AI do a kind of self-check on the source name or URL it's providing. Now, you still absolutely have to click the link yourself to verify the content, but it makes the AI less likely to just invent a source title because it knows verification is part of the request.
That's a smart safeguard. Okay, so you've checked feasibility. Before you ask for money, you need to know who you're up against, right? So the comparative benchmarking prompt.
Yeah, this one's about getting granular. Comparing your rivals, not just guessing, but using data on financial performance, market share, maybe pricing, customer reviews. And the trick here, the sources say, is to explicitly demand visualizations. Force it to give you tables or charts.
Makes sense. If you're comparing, say, Tesla against Ford and maybe BYD, you need that side-by-side view. So this prompt delivers that structure. It might compare Q3 revenues for 2025, but it also pulls out the key insight, like maybe noting Tesla's higher average selling price, say $40,000 average, giving them a margin edge. You get the data and the interpretation in one go.
Yeah, that's analysis ready to drop into a presentation. Okay, now for the purely financial angle, the investment oracle prompt. This sounds like it's for evaluating potential investments, looking hard at risks and growth opportunities for any asset. Could be a stock, could be anything.
And for this to be genuinely useful, not just hype, the prompt must demand balance. So if you're looking at a hot stock, maybe NVIDIA, the output needs the bull case, sure, like a buy rating, maybe 15% projected upside. But just as importantly, the risk section has to be specific. It has to highlight things like dependency on chip supplies or geopolitical tensions affecting manufacturing.
So it delivers the full picture, the due diligence snapshot. It forces the AI away from just cheerleading and makes it present the counterarguments, the risks. That's what you need for a proper investment decision, isn't it?
Absolutely. Prevents just following the herd.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Moving from specific companies to the bigger picture, strategy, trends, and these specialized deep dives. This next set of prompts seems focused on looking ahead, future-proofing, understanding wider impacts.
Yeah, if you're involved in strategy or thought leadership, you need that broader view. Which brings us to the industry impact prompt. This one makes the AI look at the ripple effects, the big societal or economic consequences of something. Who's affected? How are they reacting? What are the policy options?
The classic example here is AI's impact on jobs, right? AI job displacement. Instead of just getting back generic worries, a good prompt forces it to cite data. Maybe McKinsey projecting 2 million jobs potentially lost in certain sectors. And crucially, it pivots to solutions being discussed or tested, like universal basic income pilots. It connects the problem to the potential responses.
It provides that full context. Okay, connecting impact to foresight, analyzing trends is obviously vital. That's where the tech trends profit prompt comes in. It demands a forward-looking report on a specific field, could be AI, blockchain, genomics. And importantly, it must include things like adoption rates, challenges on the horizon, and solid predictions for the next, say, 5 years.
Right. So for AI, it might pull Gartner data showing 85% enterprise adoption expected by 2027.
Yeah.
But it also has to balance that with the hurdles, maybe significant regulatory challenges around ethics, which could slow things down in sensitive areas like healthcare or finance. Get the forecast, but with the necessary reality checks built in.
Okay, so from grand trends down to brass tacks execution. The marketing strategy prompt. This sounds super practical. Developing a full data-driven marketing plan. And the structure demands are key here. Market segmentation, detailed customer personas, specific channel recommendations, and measurable KPIs.
Yeah, look at that vegan protein bar example in the sources. The output isn't just use social media. That's useless. It defines a specific persona, Busy Ben, the time-poor professional needing healthy options. It recommends specific channels, maybe weighted towards LinkedIn and Instagram for that persona. And it sets a concrete KPI. Achieve a 20% conversion rate from Instagram story ads in the first quarter. That's an actual plan you can hand to your team.
Super actionable. Now, shifting slightly, thinking about ethics and the supply chain, the sustainability SAGE prompt. This seems vital now with ESG being so important, researching sustainable practices and getting concrete recommendations.
The sources use the fashion industry as an example. The output might highlight a case study like Patagonia using recycled materials and cutting emissions by 30%. But the recommendations are the actionable part, things like suggesting implementing carbon audits, maybe projecting they could cut waste by 40% for a similar company. It turns vague ESG goals into specific actions with potential results.
And this rigorous, structured approach isn't just for business, is it? It applies to highly specialized fields, too, like health research. The Health Research Guru prompt designed to cut through all the wellness noise and deliver evidence-based summaries.
Yeah, and the mandatory outputs are crucial here. Must include ongoing clinical trials, must include recommendations from major health organizations like the WHO or NIH. So if you're researching, say, long COVID treatments, you get cited data on success rates for things like pacing therapy, maybe around 70%, and you get the current status of specific drug trials, which antivirals are in phase 3 testing in 2025, for instance. It's like getting an instant cited literature review.
Powerful stuff. And just to show how universal the structured approach is, the sources even include a more fun one, the travel guide wizard prompt. It's critical maybe, but it uses those same four pillars: context, task, output, format, constraints to build a detailed, personalized travel plan.
Right? Like a 7-day Bali trip. The AI doesn't just list temples. Because you've set constraints, it gives accommodation options within your budget, maybe from $50 hostels up to $500 villas. And it includes safety tips relevant to when you're going, like monsoon warnings if you specify December travel. It's personalized research, proving the technique works across the board.
Okay, so that's 10 different pathways. We've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, and the common thread, the thing we really need to stress, is how demanding that specific output format makes these prompts so much more powerful. You're essentially weaponizing the AI's ability to structure information, aren't you?
That is absolutely the core of it. That's the whole game. By dictating the output, demanding the table, the SWOT, the KPI list, the timeline, you force the AI to move beyond just generating text. You make it perform actual data synthesis and analysis, the kind of output you can use immediately. That's how you get that superhuman research speed we talked about at the start.
Okay, and now, the bonus hack. The sources mention something called chaining prompts. This sounds like where you really unlock efficiency.
Ah, yes, chaining. This is where it gets really interesting. It's about exponential efficiency, like you said. Chaining basically means you take the structured, analyzed output from one prompt, and you use that as the detailed, already processed input for the next prompt in your workflow.
Okay, so give me an example.
Right, so you run the startup feasibility prompt we discussed. It spits out that summary, the SWOT table, maybe market size data. You then take that neatly structured output and feed it directly into the competitor benchmarking prompt. Or maybe you feed parts of it into the investment oracle prompt.
Ah, I see. So you're building layer upon layer of analysis using the AI's structured output from one stage to fuel the next, without a human needing to manually sift through and synthesize the info between steps. They're like an automated research assembly line.
Exactly. Research production on demand. You are building a comprehensive, cited, professional-level report piece by piece, potentially in minutes or hours, not weeks.
That's quite a leap from just asking, tell me about.
It fundamentally changes the dynamic. When you master these structural demands, you stop being just a passive consumer of endless information streams. You become a producer of immediate applied intelligence. These templates aren't just questions, they're like blueprints for assembling knowledge.
So the final thought for you listening, the real question is, which of these 10 pathways, these distinct research tools, from the investment oracle to the marketing strategy sorcerer, or even the health guru, which one will you choose to master first? Which one could fundamentally change how you gather and use knowledge starting today? Remember the keys: start specific, demand structure, and see just how fast you can go from asking a question to having a definitive, actionable analysis right in front of you.